In the aftermath of the assassination of Charlie Kirk, there have been a lot of people that have been scrambling to take over the bloodied microphone that he left behind, be it Ben Shapiro, be it people like this, and today we're going to be exposing Brilyn Hollyhand. Stupid name aside, this kid is 19 years old, is from a millionaire GOP donor family, and he has been trying to astroturf himself in one of the most shameless political ploys I've ever seen to try to take over the clout that had Charlie Kirk be this significant figure in the first place. So, just as a brief overview, you probably have never heard of this kid in the last or before last week, and you'd be in the same camp as me, who follows everybody closely, has a lot of acquaintances that are famous, and I've never heard of this guy's name before. Brian Holyhand, he's a guy who has 223,000 followers, which, according to a few weeks ago, did not exist. And then he's obviously someone who has a ton of posts that are evidently ChatGPT written. You can see that a lot of his posts are very much in the vein of probably what his father would tell him to say, be it this George Bush, yesteryear sort of politic. You see him, with Donald Trump, again, you can pay to get a photo with the president. It's not that hard, but you do need money. And so he is just one of the fakest people alive. So let's look at the video that made him go viral. All right, so this post with 39 million views only a few days ago. He goes, University of Arkansas, we are on our way to kick off a 10-stop tour, and he's implying that he's selling these places out and that he's working with Turning Point, which are all lies. Now, keep in mind, this kid, when you look at his post from even last month, you'll notice that he's getting like 20 likes, a couple hundred likes. This one gets thousands and thousands. So this is AstroTurf, but let's get started.
What's up, America? Brilyn Hollyhand here, about 30,000 feet up. We are on the way to Arkansas. So everybody in line at the University of Arkansas to kick off my 10-stop campus tour. We are coming to you right here, right now. Stay in line. We have gotten a third room because we have sold out this campus stop 3 times, but we are coming.
Okay, so a couple of things you need to notice.
Coming to you.
This guy looks gay as hell, talks gay as hell, kind of looks like somebody Lindsey Graham would have as an intern, and a lot of them actually. And he's got this, again, master shirt, which is something that is probably something that people daydream about having, the SEC football frat bro types, but he has this like $1 million shirt, basically. Only the most elite people get to go to this golf tournament thing. And then again, these very tight pants. He's got the look of like an Eli Manning acolyte. Not the best looking guy, but again, trying to go for this like kind of frat bro, sort of good old boy from the South. But again, the voice does not match the not even the body, but definitely what he's wearing. And also, he's in a private jet. He's 19 years old. Okay, so I'm 22 for the record. I'm not even close to affording a private jet, though I'd like to. But again, how does he have access to a private jet? Now, I'm not saying that he bought it himself. That's nuts. He's not, a Persian prince. However, even if you have the connections to be in a private jet, like who the hell are you? Like, how come nobody's even heard of you? And this guy's apparently released 1 or 2 books, which are completely ChatGPT if you actually read them.
We are coming to you. We will fit you in. Students will get priority, but we will make it happen. I cannot be more excited. We are back. We are on the road. We're coming to you one conversation at a time. If you're not at the University of Arkansas, we're coming to a campus near you soon, so check out my tour dates.
Okay, but who's we? Again, this guy has no previous clout. So then what the hell's going on? Now, this dweeb is really just telling on himself. So after this post goes viral and a lot of people rightfully call him out for being a grifter, he goes, Happy Sunday. And again, I would do it in the gay voice, but I'd get tired, okay? I just wanted to sit down for a second to introduce myself and provide receipts. So again, this guy is so irrelevant that he's giving receipts to prove that like he knew Charlie Kirk, which in and of itself is pathetic, right? For example, if I were to say I was dating this girl, I was really close, I wouldn't have to show receipts like, oh, here's a picture during Valentine's Day. It's like, if people don't already know that and know of you, then you're probably just lying, right? It just looks pathetic. And he's saying, oh, I'm definitely not a newcomer, which, again, very shady. Secondly, he goes, but I'm definitely, I started my podcast in the 4th grade at 11 years old. Okay, first of all, we talk about people like Gavin Newsom or Pete Buttigieg, people that are sociopaths, people that have been wanting to be president since they had diapers on, basically. And those definitely exist in politics. In fact, a lot of people in politics are exactly like that. So this is really just taking it up a notch, because while at 11 you might try to be dreaming about going into debate club in high school and Model UN, this kid's starting his own podcast at 11 years old. So that's what, 2017? And do you think any 11-year-old really has anything insightful to say past talking about like Doritos and Call of Duty? So again, Why is this happening? It seems as if his father may be living vicariously through his son, or at least spoiling his brat son, who's entitled and thinks that he should be famous, by funding him, interviewing people like Ben Shapiro years ago, Candace Owens years ago, Charlie Kirk years ago. Look at this.
Hi America, I'm Brilyn, Hollyhand, editor-in-chief of the Truth Gazette. This is the big reveal. We are here with Charlie Kirk and Candace Owens from Turning Point USA. We just sat down for an exclusive interview before they speak tonight in Tuscaloosa, Alabama for the 2018 Alabama GOP Summer Dinner. We discussed the Trump administration, fake news media, 2020 elections, and so very much more. Make sure you watch. The interview's coming very soon.
This guy's great, by the way. Big stuff. He's great.
Thank you. Love it. Hi America, I'm
So if you notice at the end, you can tell they're kind of laughing at him, which, you could say, oh, they're a-holes, they're buddy trolling. But I mean, seriously, you're Charlie, you're Candace, you're talking to millionaires, a lot of, middle-aged men, in their 50s, and they have, their 12-year-old son who's a complete nerd, and he wants to interview you, and he's saying, oh, we talked about the Trump administration. And again, he's a kid, so maybe, if I were to do that, I'd look like an idiot. I already do look like an idiot, right? But anyway, the difference being, though, is that I don't have my dad paying to hang out with Charlie Kirk for however long that interview was with no merits of my own, right? This guy was not even a college Republican president, a Turning Point chapter leader on campus, be it even a high school campus, okay? This guy was literally like a 7th grader doing this, and to what end? And who's paying for it? Come on. Now, this is just really a bad look for Brilyn, but he's trying to validate him, like, being close with Charlie and calling him, like, his closest mentor and all that, which, by the way, if I were to say that about Charlie, that would be implying that I've talked to him several hours at least, like, off camera, that we're texting, like, every other day or something, like, somebody who's, like, an uncle figure, so to speak. But if you look at what he's posting as evidence, you've got a text from 2018, right? And then in 2020, so again, over 5 years ago, you are terrific. Keep up the hustle. You're going places, which, by the way, if you're in politics and you're young, pretty much every older person says this about you, and half the time they don't even mean it. If somebody's saying you're going places and you're my age, or his age in particular, it's like your grandma calling you handsome. Like, if she doesn't say that, then you're probably really screwed up. So, so anyways, there's not much of a connection here. Why is he posting text messages from 5 years ago? Here he's trying to, again, flex that he interviewed Charlie Kirk, 4 or 5 years ago, and so this is a 30-second clip. Again, this just doesn't really matter. I mean, this is like if you got a lap dance from a stripper that's done it to hundreds of other people, okay? You interview the guy for 30 seconds or however long this was, it doesn't mean much. Okay, now this is a clip that should creep everybody out, and this is what kind of really sold me on the fact that this guy's really just an opportunist. And at the beginning, I saw that first clip in the jet, and I'm like, oh, this guy's cringe. He's probably closeted. But it's even worse. He's just straight up a snake. Now, this is right after Trump announced that Charlie Kirk had been officially dead, right? The banner goes, the lower third says, Charlie Kirk is dead after shooting. Okay, so you're supposed to, if you knew him at all, you should be crying, at least, right? Teary-eyed. I know that you're supposed to, like, look strong or something as a dude, but come on. The occasion is insane, and I don't think I've met him before, Charlie that is, and I still was pretty almost tearing up. I'm like, oh my God. So let's see how he reacts.
Story that you share with us really quickly, Brilyn, about 4th grade, a podcast. That's incredible. And Charlie Kirk appears on your podcast. Tell me about the role he played for you as a mentor.
Yeah, again, it's somebody that didn't have to do that. He was on Fox News every other hour that year. He didn't have to make time for me as an 11-year-old with this upcoming podcast in the 4th grade to come on and join me, but he did. And not only was it a one-time thing, I've interviewed hundreds of people that I've never talked to again. He stayed a mentor, and he texted me up until this week when I was on another Fox show congratulating me.
Okay, how come the text from 2018 and 2020 are shown in the receipts, but you didn't show the one from this month? Huh?
He didn't have to do that. He could have viewed me as competition. He could have said, oh, I'm not going to give this kid time. But
Bro, why would you be competition? An 11-year-old? A 4th grader? Really? You're going to be like, oh, yeah, this kid. What are you, King Herod, and you're going to, like, order every kid under 2 because it could be Jesus to be executed? Like, come on, that's what?
He did. And what I think the larger theme here is the left loves to preach tolerance. They love to preach tolerance. And in situations like this, that's the last thing we're seeing. The media coverage on the other side of the aisle is not like this. I was just scrolling through channels. And obviously the person that took this live, this is heartbreaking, Will. And I really...
What the hell is that? Like, who's ever said the word heartbreaking and then, like, responded? Like, look at the... It's hard to explain, but heartbreaking, you should not react facially the way he does.
Took this live. This is heartbreaking, Will. And
Why is he smiling? This is heartbreaking, Will. The fuck? You'd say, like, oh, he's reading off of a script, but it's even worse than that, because even if that's the case, actors know how to, like, pretend to care. Like, if I were to say, the neighbor, he died, I wouldn't go, yeah, the neighbor, he died. It's like, bro, what?
Breaking, Will, and I really hope, if anything, that people get off the sidelines. This weekend, I'm going to a youth rally in South Carolina, and you better believe that I've already had my team shoot me text saying, Brilyn, you really need to caution this. You
Who's your goddamn team, dude? You're 19. How do you have a team? Nobody watches your shit before
really
this.
need to think about not standing in the middle of a park and speak to the next generation. But I am more energized than ever to carry on this torch, to carry on this legacy, because that's what Charlie would have.
Dude, this is literally the day of him dying. This is not at the memorial several days, like 10 days after the fact. This is literally about an hour after he died, I believe. Okay, come on.
Wanted. He would have wanted us to continue to fight the good fight, just like he did.
This is like basically figuring out that some girl you liked broke up like 20 minutes ago, and then you DM her right then. It's like, Jesus, like give it a weekend or something.
No doubt, Brilyn. No doubt. Thank you so much.
Horrible look, man. And again, why is Fox News propping this kid up? It seems as if he has a combination of connections via the dad and also money being spent on this AstroTurf campaign.
It's also an incredible.
Here's one of the things he's bragging about. Apparently, his first stop in whatever Southern university he went to, he filled up the room, which, again, a college professor teaching astronomy can do, right? Like 200 kids. And I'm not saying that I could do that, but I'm just also saying that he has unlimited funds. And when he says he's working with Turning Point, keep in mind that there's literally hundreds, if not thousands, of college chapters for Turning Point. I know a lot of them. And just because you are doing a speech at one in, let's say, Florida, doesn't mean that Tyler Boyer, Erica Kirk, number one, know who you are, or two, are sanctioning you as a representative of the entirety of it. I mean, it's like if you were going to review a Cheesecake Factory in fucking Phoenix, and then all of a sudden I'm saying, well, I'm working with Cheesecake Factory nationally. It's like, no, you're not. So he's misrepresenting that, for starters. Secondly, totally boring intro, minute-long intro. What the hell's wrong with you? L Optics with the picture, too. I mean, she's... Now, a really commonsensical smoking gun I can show you guys as to why this guy's AstroTurf is just looking up his name on Google Trends. With this sort of thing, you can basically look up, how viral someone is. So, for example, if you look at Eminem, he gets a lot more popular around the time he releases an album, Common Sense, right? Well, okay, so then he's not AstroTurf. You can connect the dots there. Brilyn Hollyhand, on the other hand, get it? You see that he has literally no clout from, let's say, 2020 up until, let's say, like right now. You see this dotted line? That's like the projected searches for his name. So no cloud at all. Maybe a little bit in spring of 24. I don't know what the hell that was. But like in general, he had no attention. So how does he get 230,000 followers on Twitter? Really? How? To make matters worse, you have Brilyn over here with the YouTube channel that has no traction, which is another sense of proof that he's bought it. You look at him, and these are prior to the Charlie Kirk death, right? You see August, July of this year. You'll notice that the views are 187, 1.1 thousand, 690, 898, 178, and 127 views, okay? He's getting less views than I do, basically. And he has millions of dollars behind him, and he's on all these Fox News shows, be it is the C team of Fox News for the most part, but still, like, why the hell are you letting on this guy? He's not even a college Republican president. Like, he literally has nothing going for him aside from what his daddy gave him. Now, people have been saying that this piece of garbage book called One Generation Away, which is a stolen Reagan reference, by Brilyn Hollyhand, was ghostwritten, which I tend to believe. Now, let's just play it so you guys can also chime in.
Reagan didn't leave us cowering in the darkness after delivering his warning. He gave us the solution as well. Freedom is a fragile thing, and it's never more than one generation away from extinction. It's not ours by way of inheritance. It must be fought for and defended constantly by each generation. Reagan didn't leave.
Okay, so you listen to this, it doesn't sound like a human wrote it, and at best, it sounds like some low-tier autist nerd in junior year of high school wrote this for an essay. This does not sound like a goddamn book, okay? Like, you could call people like, I don't know, Mark Levin grifters or something, but at least I'm pretty sure he writes his own stuff. This kid cannot pull it off to save his life. And to be fair, writing a book at 18 is hard if you're not like a Ben Shapiro. But then again, don't make books that you don't write yourself, because then what the hell's the point? Now, this is just too rich, right? So his whole thing is called One Conversation at a Time, this tour. Apparently, Troy University is informing people that the Turning Point chapter that he's presenting at will not be allowing a Q&A after the speech. So think about that. You're saying it's one conversation at a time. Now, have you had a single conversation that I've seen up until this point? No, you're just talking to a crowd. But he knows damn well, which I give him credit, he's self-aware enough to understand that people hate him. And so probably a lot of people are going to accost him rhetorically and ask him some actual relevant questions. Like, where do you get your money from? Why do you have a team if you have no sauce, no charisma, and are a plant, right? Like, come on. Now, this is just official proof that people as high up as Tyler Boyer in Turning Point are basically disavowing Brilyn. So he says, no, he's not affiliated. Turning Point USA has thousands of chapters. He's just set up to speak at about 8 or so local ones and is calling that a tour. Team is in midst of bigger issues right now, although it has come off as distasteful. Usually these things work themselves out. So again, just saying basically like, we don't even know who you are. Get the hell away from us is what I gather. Also, for reference, this is the legit Turning Point post Charlie Kirk death first tour that they're doing. It's not having anything to do with the Brilyn Hollyhand. Like, of course, these sort of dates make a lot more sense. So you look at the 22nd, which was about a week ago. You had Michael Knowles, again, somebody with actual clout, right? Megyn Kelly, Governor Glenn Youngkin, Governor Cox, Senator Mike Kelly, Jason Chaffetz, Andy Biggs, I know personally, Vivek Ramaswamy. So again, people with actual power who actually knew Charlie for the most part. That actually checks out when you're reading these names on paper. Brian Hollyhand, on the other hand, is not going to be the freaking. He's not Luke Skywalker. He's not going to be the one to be the savior to take over that bloody microphone that was left by Charlie, unfortunately, not too long ago this month. I mean, come on. It's so fake. Okay, here we have Carrie Lake sweeping it up for Brian as recently as yesterday, and he replies saying, "Thank you so much, sweet friend." Again, bro, not helping with the gay allegations. Who the hell says that? You're a 19-year-old college kid out of, what is it, Auburn or whatever? Like, come on, speak like a man. And that's coming from me. But come on. Thank you, sweet friend. Like, what? Are you a 60-year-old, like, Southern woman? What the fuck? Jesus. Lindsey Graham LARP much? Now, here's an example of one of the tour stops he did, I think, at Troy University. These are, maybe 100 people max. Again, not to crap on the number. It's just saying that all of the money that he's putting in, and it's not really transferring. Like, think about it. Indirectly, his father has probably spent, let's say, $1 million on an event like this. And, per seat, how much does that even equate to? Like, thousands of dollars per person here? Like, come on. Like, you're pulling in, like, not even 10% of a football game on a given Saturday. And you're going to, brag about this? And think about it. The comparison here is Brilyn and these 100 folks and like Megyn Kelly with untold hundreds, if not thousands. Okay, like people like that. In one of my final points for today, he has this tweet from today, actually 6 hours ago, and it only has 50,000 views. And I only bring that up because his initial post that I assume got botted has 40 million views. This has not even 1% of it. So this goes: when the world tells us to put God and ourselves first, we must not listen. We are counterculture. Basically red meat for the base. But let's actually see what sort of charisma this kid has that warrants a tour. Okay, because think about it. This guy sounds like a college Republican president at best, like a Timu one, right? Like, I'm a lot better at speaking than he is. But look.
We are called to live countercultural. In a time that the world tells us to put God last and ourselves first, we're seeing the opposite of that happen with the seeds of revival spranted across this nation. We are called to
spranted across this nation. We're seeing it happen again, and it's just lame. Like, you just suck. He's not even like stuttering or anything. He just is plain boring. Like, this is really what, like, if I were to DH Mitch McConnell, I'd assume he sounds exactly like this, but, like, not gay. Turtle Mitch, come on. All right, so final thing, we're going to end off with a nice little meme here. We have, of course, Cracker Barrel, the old country store, and that's Charlie Kirk. And we didn't know what we had when we eventually realized that now that we've lost them, we have replacements such as Cracker Barrel Dollar Store Edition with, what's his name? Brilyn. Horrible name, by the way. His mother should be sued. But anyway, Brilyn Hollyhand. Pathetic. And so I'm pretty sure everybody can agree with me that this kid is not legit. And even if you would say, like, oh, who cares if he's astroturfed? It's like, well, he's not even good. Like, say what you will about Gavin Newsom, but he is at least good at pretending to talk and whatnot. He has a silver tongue. That's a lot more than what you could say for this kid, who's not only untalented, but also in a place in life that's unwarranted just because of daddy's money. And it makes me feel like a socialist. It's like, bro, what the hell is this? Where's that money for me? But anyways, like the video if you liked it. Subscribe if you want more content like this. Comment down below what your thoughts are about Brilyn Hollyhand. It seems like he's not going away anytime soon, though I hope I'm wrong. But anyways, I'll see y'all in the next one. Adios.